Words matter.
Welcome everyone to the Words Matter podcast, a podcast dedicated to wordsmiths. My name is Akil. To the left of me, I have Richard of the Wear brand. What's going on?
Yo, what's good, man? Thank you for having me, bro.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for coming.
No doubt.
So who are you?
Man, so peace everybody. My name is Rich. I'm the co-founder of the Wear brand, like my boy Akil said. I'm a creator, I'm a healer, I'm a father, I'm a husband, Scorpio. All around a Wear human, man. That's me.
And you talk about you're a healer, you're a creator. Well, what makes you all those things? Like what was your introduction into all of those jobs?
Man, so I would say creator first, right? Because I was always like into art, drawing and stuff. So I always knew I was a creator, even after I put the pencil down, I was making like jewelry, making bracelets, necklaces, things like that. The healer part came later. I've been working in mental health for like 10 years now. Yeah. So I really learned a lot about myself and my healing capabilities through like talk therapy.
Yeah.
Just the way that I put words together, the way that I sound, I learned I was a healer in many ways through that job.
Did you think of yourself as a healer before that?
Nah, bro. Like I didn't know how I was gonna be on the job, man. You know what I mean? And people were saying like, no, you'll be great, bro. Trust me, you'll be great. And I'm like, I hope so. But I didn't have the self-awareness then, to know that I am a healer. I just needed the proper environment, I guess, to bring it out.
Yeah. So, you consider yourself a healer. What led you into becoming a designer of a streetwear brand or founder of a streetwear brand?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. Man, like it's around maybe 2015. Yeah, 2015, like with all the police killings, like how they was gunning us down. Trayvon Martin, Ahmaud Arbery later on, but Philando Castile, like, the names go on and on. Me and my boy Drew, man, we grew up together. So we were just really frustrated, with the way that the media was depicting us. And we were just like, yo, man, we got to do something about this, And he was like, yo, let's start a brand that like changes the narrative on a lot of things, And he had two words in his mind. He had consciousness and he had aware in his mind. And we were just like, yo, aware sounds fire. Like aware is like, it doesn't box us in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, conscious, if we had our brand called conscious, people would have like a preconceived notion of like what it's supposed to be.
They think y'all making like hats like Common used to.
You know what I'm saying? Or, selling incense.
Kofis.
Facts, bro. Like, and we just like, we not on that. You know what I mean? Like we've been fly for a long time and, we love art and we also like freedom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like aware was the perfect word.
How long did it take to get that concept of aware off the ground?
Yeah, man, I would say, bro, that we still trying to get it off the ground.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In different ways, but we started with hats. We started with hats that said aware in our traditional script, and we were just selling them. Like first, we were just wearing them to see like if people liked it. You know what I mean? So we were just wearing it around everywhere we went. We wear our aware hat. And people were like, yo, what is that? What is that? And we're like, yo, it's our shit. I can curse on here?
Yeah.
Okay. We were like, yo, it's our shit. And they're like, for real? I'm like, yeah, man. So we saw that people were gravitating towards it. So we're like, all right, let's get a batch of like 24 hats, see if we can move it. You know what I mean? So we spent like $200 and something on 24 hats, bro. And we sold them, bro. It's crazy. We sold them. So we're like, yo, I think we got something here. So we kept reading up on the hats, you know what I mean? And just selling them out the trunk, bro.
Was it a lot of explaining that you had to do because was it that logo with the eye and the eye?
Yeah. So that came a little later.
Okay.
First, it was just the aware script. Bro.
All right.
Yeah. So people were always asking like, yo, what is that about? Like aware of what? So we'd be like, yes, we got you. You know what I mean? Like, so we're like, self-awareness, self-love, tapping into the power that's within you. You know what I mean? That God power, that light that everybody has, right? But everybody's not aware of. So it would be a good conversation piece once they ask like, yo, what is it? What aware of what? So the I heart came a little later because symbols is like the language of subconscious. You know what I mean? So we like, we need a symbol. Like that's where the longevity's at. You know what I mean? Nike, Puma, all the brands. So you want to be able to be identified by a symbol. So we were just going through different symbols, man, and one really stood out to us. It's an Adinkra symbol. Kojo Baden, I think it is. It's for the universe.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just liked how that looked. You know what I mean? So we're like, yo, let's take the eye, let's take a heart, you know, and the eye heart kind of explains it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't really have to like do too much because people see like on a varsity jacket or whatever, they're like, yo, I love that. That's fire. And they make their own, you know, conclusions about what it means.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The conclusions kind of, I guess that kind of comes from it being kind of mysterious in a way. That
100%.
Was that intentional? Yeah,
like we're both Scorpios, right? So Scorpios like to be like mysterious, but also I think people, if I could tell myself a story about what something means, it'll resonate for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think people, we do want to educate, we do want to empower and enlighten people, but we do want them to tap into themselves. You know what I mean? So like whatever it means to you, we love that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are so the logos on the jacket right there? New jacket is tough. What are these right here? You could explain that.
Yeah. So they could be rays of light.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seven rays of light, 7 frequencies, you know, for light, light spectrum. You know what I mean? And also just like the expansion or the illumination of your mind as well.
Tell us about your personal style. What about your personal style? Did that, were your influences in your personal style, did that lead you to starting a streetwear brand?
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, personal style, I love that question, bro. Personal style, we're still our personal styles kind of guide the clothes that we make, because we want to wear it, obviously, right? At the same time, we're learning that everything that we make, we don't have to love it for ourselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a crazy process. But my style, I would say, is more like a little more on the eclectic side.
Yeah.
You know, like mixing prints and textures, and you know. So I think we will get there with the Aware brand, but for like as far as like, you know, being a new streetwear brand, you know, we keeping it like hoodies and tees. And, you know, yeah.
I mean, y'all are new, but y'all been in some big places. You know, congratulations on the Times Square look with the Foot Locker campaign.
Man. Yeah,
I saw that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, that happened randomly. Like it's the perfect intersection of like being prepared and luck, right? So we were at a pop-up. Foot Locker was actually hosting a pop-up shop in Detroit. Drew was living in Detroit now and at the time, and we had a table there. And you know, shout out to all the vendors that were there, but we smoked all of them. You know what I mean? Like our presentation, our customer engagement, like you know what I mean? Like, so they saw one of our shirts on a recap video. One of the buyers saw our shirt on a recap video, and he was like, "Yo, what brand is that?" You know, so then they reached out to us. People on the Detroit teams reached out to us like, "Yo, Foot Locker, you know, they want to talk to y'all." And we were like, "All right, cool." We were a little like, should we do this? Because it's a big retailer. You know what I mean? Like, if you jump into things a little too early, it could like cripple your business.
And cheapen it in a way.
Yeah. So we were just like, man, do we really want to, you know, get on this thing with Foot Locker? But we like, man, fuck it, let's just see.
Yeah.
You know, and we started out with 2 stores. We started out one in Washington Heights, one in 8 Mile in Detroit, and now we're in 21.
Wow.
Going crazy.
Wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, man. I mean, 21 stores.
Yeah, back to your personal style.
Yeah.
Is it visible in Aware's designs? Because, and you know, how are you able to even include your personal style into Aware's designs? Because you said your style is more eclectic.
Yeah.
And then how would you describe, Drew's not here to speak for himself, but how would you describe his style?
Yeah, we've been trying to figure that out. But he's like he got like a rock star mixed with like streetwear.
Yeah.
Gentleman, you know, kind of thing. I think where we get to have fun is with colors.
Yeah.
You know, color schemes. You know what I mean? Like, we just like, the Get Fly people gonna like we'll make different options. That's what we're learning too, right? Like, it's like the hoodie that you have on, like I love that color, right?
Thanks.
Will everybody wear that color? Maybe not. Yeah. Right? So we'll do a color like that, but we'll also do like a black or a navy. You know what I mean? So
in the same design,
the same design, everything, bro. Like everything will be the same, but just the two different colors. Yeah. You know, so I might wear that. Yeah. Drew might wear that too. You know what I mean? But we got the other option for other more conservative people as well. Yeah. So we play with the colors. Yeah. You know, to get our like creative thing off.
So who locally, and this is another guest I got from my hometown, Spring Valley, New York. Who locally did you know, possibly draw inspiration from as far as your personal style? And, you know, who did you see growing up and say, yo, he's hard, like he's fly? Yeah.
Old pictures of my pops. You know, I'm gonna start there. And then also just like, man. So locally, right? I always looked up to the cats who were like 2 or 3 grades older than me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Who wore like, who just took a chance. You know what I mean? Like whether it was wearing rings before it was cool or, you know, ripped jeans before it was cool. You know, I always tell JP, you know, our boy JP. Yeah. I always tell P, like, man, when I was growing up, because he used to have the jerseys and you know what I mean? Like he used to put some things together. So I always liked that, bro. You know, and then also just like artists, you know, Taz Arnold, of course. Yeah. You know what I mean? I love Taz's style. Andre 3000, Kanye, of course. You know, like those kind of guys who are like, you know, Taz is like out there, you know what I mean? But he's fly. Like he knows what he's doing. He understands like clothing and silhouettes and cuts and, you know what I mean? He gets it, you know what I mean? So yeah, I love fashion.
I do see, and speaking of Taz Arnold, I do see a little like Tisa inspiration in Aware. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Man, I never got any of the Tisa pieces, but like I
had no money.
I'm trying to tell you, man. But man, all of those like promotional stuff that he did, the videos and the designs, fire, bro. Yeah, that was such a crazy time. Like one of my favorite pieces of content is it was Big Sean. He was wearing a bunch of Tisa fits.
Yeah, that era, the blog era.
Come on, man, bruh. That was a special time.
Yeah, that was a special time. And it was, and a lot of it was loud, but at the same time, it was the start of a lot of minimalism also. Yes. Because Tisa was very minimalistic. It was just those
super minimalistic,
that thin font, and then each letter was in a different color.
Going crazy.
But it was going crazy, and it was big. It was well known because that was when I was in high school. That was more when I was in high school, that era, and. Yeah, it was well known. Definitely, if you were into streetwear and like Jordans and stuff, and like SB Dunks and stuff like that. But you know, it still was like a niche,
100%
market.
Yes,
but it was big at the same time.
I agree with you.
If you was on the internet heavy, you definitely knew what Tisa was, or you wore it if you could afford it.
Yeah, yeah. Man, you just made me think about just that intersection of like being big but still niche. Yeah, that's fire. I'm just thinking about Aware. Yeah. Like how do we? I love that lane. You know what I mean? Of like people seeing, like you could see somebody with a Aware varsity on. And just like, oh, he knows. Yeah, you know what I mean? Or she knows. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like they know what time it is.
It's like a community.
100%. Yeah, and we call everybody our tribe. You know what I mean? It's a tribe of aware humans. You know, because we're all in a certain frequency. We're all growing at different rates. You know what I mean? We're all on the same awareness journey, but you know, different parts of the same journey.
What does being aware mean to you?
Being aware to me means being fully tapped in to my God power. You know, that's why I tell my daughter, like, you got God power inside of you. You know, so like you can use your God power, excuse me, you could use your God power to change yourself, to change your life, to change the people around you lives. You know, like that's what being aware to me is, just being fully tapped into that and living that. You know, that's authentic. That's being your authentic self.
Yeah. What is your favorite style of design? Because we spoke about Tisa and the blog era style, and you talked about you being inspired by what your dad wore, and you know, older guys that you drew inspiration from in high school. But like, what is your favorite style? Like, what if you look back in retrospect, who ultimately kind of like, or subconsciously influenced the Aware?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah. Rather. I think of Pharrell. Mm-hmm. Just the range of Pharrell like looks. You know what I mean? Like he kind of encompassed like the whole spectrum of like, he'll do the hoodie, you know, he'll do the trucker, but he'll also like do a jumpsuit. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like I love that range, you know, because sometimes I feel like wearing a hoodie, sometimes I feel like, you know, throwing on like a little pilot, you know, jumpsuit, or, you know, like however I feel, I like to dress like that. So me and Drew, we both love Pharrell and like what he's done with Bape, obviously, and, you know, Human Made. Like we definitely like study. He's one of the people that we study. Yeah. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Man, bro, I love Brooklyn Circus, man. Yeah. Ouija Theodore. He has a similar type of range. More gentleman, clean, you know, than Pharrell, but
preppy almost.
Yeah, it's more preppy, like, you know,
Ivy League almost.
Yeah, bro. Like, but I like how he is very black, right? Because they'll do like that preppy 60s type of thing, but they'll throw on like the traditional tribal jewelry, you know, like that's like a juxtaposition of sorts, right? If you will. So yeah, I love Ouija Theodore. He's like one of the flies to me, bro.
And then it's kind of funny because I just saw today that Ralph Lauren is doing a line, or Polo's doing they're making clothes inspired by Morehouse and Spelman.
Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
But at the same time, it's very Ralph Lauren. Right, you know, like traditionally, they always had that preppy look to it. But
100%.
Like brands like Brooklyn Circus definitely been doing that for 10 years now, 10 years plus.
Easy 10, bro. Easy 10. Like when I started to find my style or like hone in on what I liked, Brooklyn Circus was one of the brands that I looked at. You know what I mean? Like because they would do cool things, like they would throw us pocket square in a jean jacket. You know what I mean? Like just stuff like, you know, just stuff like that. I love things that are not supposed to match or not supposed to belong together. And you make it work. You know, that's art.
What is your favorite decade of style?
Bro, that's hard, man. I want to.
Or a decade of design.
Yeah. Knee-jerk reaction, I want to say 60s, 50s and 60s, you know, like that. You know, the varsities and just men dressing more to their body type. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't super tight like the 70s. It was kind of loose, comfortable. You know, you could have on some slacks and like run, you know what I mean, and be comfortable. Like I like that. I like the older I get, the more I'm like, let me dress for my body type. You know, so I like 50s and 60s. I would probably say.
But then it's also, they say fashion moves in a 20-year cycle, because in the 80s you could say that men were kind of dressing to their body type as well. Like people wore straight leg jeans and weren't tight, weren't big. And also like the jackets were like right below the waist, right below the torso. So I love that. It's almost like the same thing.
I love that.
Every 20 years.
And then in the 80s, you know, like especially with black people, it was like, I love that. So I'm gonna say 50s, 60s, and then 80s, because the 80s had like the crazy like prints and patterns and designs and
color blocking as well.
Come on, like, but still fitting, you know, to the body. That was good.
Your origins are in mental health. You've been working in mental health for a long time. What made you, you know, intersect mental health awareness with streetwear? Because I've never seen that done before.
Yeah, that was, man, you know, that was really the original impulse behind the brand. You know what I mean? Like, how do we do something dope? Like, how do we give some people something dope but educational as well? You know what I mean? Like, I think there are people who have done that. Like when you think of like people like Red Pill and Blue Pill, you know Red Pill and Blue Pill?
I think I saw them before. I'm not too familiar.
They're more so on the education side. You know what I mean? Trying to teach the people, but they also have a brand as well. You know, but like we wanted to amplify both, put them both on the same level. You know, the brand and the education. So it just works, man. Like with me being in mental health, and Drew's like a marketing guru, in a lot of ways, and we get to be ourselves with the brand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's one of the goals of like being self-aware and being autonomous and being your authentic self, is like carving a lane for yourself so that you can be yourself and get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? that part.
For sure.
Yeah.
Getting paid, you're educating as well as helping people get fly, which could definitely lead to the improvement of a person's mental health.
100%. It does for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A fresh cut.
For sure.
If I'm a little sad, man, I get that fresh cut.
Yeah.
You can't tell me nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Facts.
Did you ever feel like you had to pick one to put more energy into, or did you always know that you could put both worlds together?
Man, I love that question. It's actually, the path is becoming more clear to me now, because for a long time I did feel like torn, like there was two of me.
Yeah.
There was like the Richard in mental health, and then there's like the creative Richard, you know what I mean? So like with Aware, I get to mesh them together and figure out like what that looks like who am I? Because I'm both of those things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like fitting them together comfortably is has been like a huge like trial and error, beautiful process. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are there any mental health professionals that inspire you, or you seek guidance either personally or guidance from either personally or through their works?
Yeah. I'm a big Carl Jung, Jung fan. But now, like more contemporary people, I look at spiritual leaders. You know what I mean? Like Michael Beckwith, he's fire. Like he's one of the people that I look at as to like what the more mature version of me it will be. There's a lot of spiritual people. Even like Red Pill and Blue Pill, they mix things together nicely. A. Rashid. I like guys who they're just themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't have you can talk about mental health, but you don't have to sound like this professor that you know what I'm saying? Like you don't got to do that. And plus we don't respond to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't resonate with us. Like we for better or for worse, we respond better to like people who present like rappers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Musicians. So like with Aware, we don't want to be like too over your head. We don't want to use words that are gonna like turn people off. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we're constantly thinking about, how we're talking to people and how we come off, because we do want to just come off as ourselves, but we're still refining who we are.
Yeah.
At the same time,
Do you think that it's important to be validated by your peers or people who have inspired you in the streetwear industry? Because you're in a lane that you're in a lane of a popular style of clothing, but even more specifically, you're including a message of mental health awareness. So, is validation by your peers important to you?
I would say yes and no. Yes, because it's like we're all artists, right? And we're all like creating these things that we want to resonate with people. So like when another designer hits us up and like, yo, yeah, that stuff is fly, yo, like, yeah. And we like their stuff too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, cause like, oh, okay, you understand like design and scales and you know what I mean? You get color palettes and all that. So like we do enjoy that and receive that. At the same time, we know that we're doing something that is still new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, but we want to get you, if you like the fly stuff and you're like, I'm cool on the mental health stuff.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you like the fly joint, we got you. You know what I mean? Yeah. If you like the education stuff and you're like, I'm not really into streetwear, we still got you because we're on the education tip.
Yeah.
So we do like validation from our peers, of course, to a degree, because giving people too much real estate in your mind will cause you to let them kind of deter you from who you're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Being deterred, or that kind of I guess giving people too much real estate into who you're supposed to be, or letting that affect who you're supposed to be. Do you think that would ever spill over into the design process?
It can. It can. I think as you're asking me that, I'm thinking about like trends.
Yeah.
Right? And like if something is trending, whether it be a color or a font or a particular like style of shirt, like if it's an oversized shirt or something, you know what I mean? Like if we're not clear on like what we want to do, you know what I mean? Like the trends of the world and the waves, you know, can definitely deter us, you know. And we're still figuring out exactly what our aesthetic is, but we do know that we want to educate, and we do know, you know, you're gonna get these color palettes, you know. Mm-hmm. But we're always experimenting too, to see what people like, because the brand is for us, but the brand is for the world as well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that. You gotta, you know, tightrope it, you know, in a lot of ways, like, because what people think is important, but you know, you can't weigh that more than what you think.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you ever, because, you know, speaking about being influenced by trends, and then even like you being influenced by Ouija Theodore and Brooklyn Circus, will Aware eventually step into menswear, almost like a Todd Snyder or a J. Crew aesthetic?
That's a good question, man. That's a good question, bro. Because man, literally like the other day, we were talking about like how do we appeal to the different subsets of men, right? Like I even think about, I worked at Armani Exchange for like 5-6 years, and like, you know, they're like the umbrella company, and they have Emporio Armani, they have Armani Exchange, they have Collezione, you know what I mean? Like, have different types that are catered to different people, and I love that.
Almost every major designer has like
it's like
under smaller brands,
bro. Yeah, like it makes sense, man. Like that's how you take over the market. You know what I mean? Like I could definitely see somebody wearing something and it's a more plain, or there's no logos really on it, or you know, maybe it might be a small iHeart or a small script. You know what I mean? And it's like $300. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like Aware Premium or something. You know what I mean? Like that's definitely a possibility, because we are interested in making different types of clothing. So yeah, that's a great question, and that's definitely something that we're thinking about.
Yeah. Are there any if you don't mind, any mental hurdles that you and Drew face that are possibly or still possibly facing, that, you know, kind of mess with you while running a clothing company?
Yeah, I would say the thing about being aware is like it's a continuous process, right? It's a continuous journey, and reaching every level is a new devil, they say. You know what I mean? So like once you start making a certain amount of money, you know, the company starts making a certain amount of money. Now it's like there's these whole new things like taxes and you know what I mean? Like we got to pay these people, like, so these things like are challenges. And like if you allow it to seep in, you know what I mean, to the relationship or to your own mental health, you know what I mean, it's gonna mess with you, you know what I mean? So, you know, luckily for us, we talk about this all the time, like we've known each other since we were like single digits, you know what I mean? So like there's that trust there, there's that foundation of friendship, right? So it's like I know like he's not gonna like stab me in the back, you know what I mean? So like there's that safety there, you know. And then we could talk things out, we could talk things through. We can see when somebody's off, the other one is off, you know what I mean? And we just give each other that space to express ourselves. You know, I think a lot of times people feel alone, even in a relationship, you know what I mean? And like in their head too much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like giving that space so that you could, you know, you could say what's on your mind, what's on your heart, and you know it's a safe space. You know what I mean? You know, like this is just what I'm feeling right now. You know, that's the mental health part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and that part is like the part that messes things up too.
Yeah.
Because it's not that deep. It's deep, but it's not that deep. It's like everything can be, you know, solved in a way, you know.
You started a blog on the Aware website.
Yeah.
What was the significance of that?
I love to write, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I read your stuff and I'm like, yo, a kid understands, like,
thanks.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he understands words and how to, like, not only paint a picture, but evoke a feeling too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just something that, you know, like you said earlier in the show, like, that's something that wordsmiths just have, you know? And like, I like to talk and I like the clothes and stuff, but there's also like a whole like universe of things that we want people to be able to read. A different level or layer of depth that the brand offers that you have to like reading to get.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, once you go to our blog section, you're like, oh, they going in on like stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that was important for us because I love to write, and we love to read, and you know, it's that educational part as well.
Yeah. You also earlier you spoke about how you call your supporters or people that buy your clothes your tribe.
Facts.
How important is a tribe and community?
Man, I want to say it's everything, bro. You know, like, even like when we were like early, you know, not even knowing that we had something, we knew it was valuable, but like the support from the tribe, you know what I mean, has always been crazy. You know what I mean? Like, even like people was like, yo, y'all not big yet, but like, yo, keep going, keep pushing, like, because this is fire. Like, it's one thing for you to grow up with people and, you know, they're like, oh yeah, your joint's cool, but like for people to be like, nah, like this is like this is different. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, we were talking about, you know, people from the town, and there's people from the town who made it big, you know, and they don't ask for like discounts or anything. Like I just go through the sales and I'm like, oh shoot, so and so bought like 3-4 tees. You know what I mean? It's like they believe in it and they telling other people, you know what I mean? And they're wearing it on like big platforms. You know what I mean? Like, I saw somebody sent us a pic, you know, Devin and Jason just wearing it like game day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh shit, my man got a Pride hoodie on, game day. You know, like all the cameras is out and everything. You know what I mean? So
speaking about Devin and Jason McCourty in the NFL.
Yeah, champions.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and still like, you know, super humble and super like down to earth and consistent with like the people that we knew, you know what I mean, growing up. But yeah, community means so much, man. And as the community grows, we want to always be like real and authentic, which goes back to like the blogs that you're talking about, which goes back to, you know, our combos that we host, you know, our wear combos that we have. That's where we get a chance to like go a little deeper into like what the brand really, like the meat of the brand, you know what I mean? Which is like, that's what's really, really important to us. Like, we love the clothes and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? But like, to feed people, it's different. It's different, bro.
The more you guys grow in the different ancillaries that you put yourselves into outside of just the clothing, with the main message in the clothing being mental health awareness, do you think that the more avenues that you try to go down, the message might cheapen? You know, because you guys have a podcast as well. You have a blog series. You have the clothes. But do you think that, you know, if you were to get into, I don't know what's the cap of the amount of things you want to get into, but do you think that like the further you go, the farther you'll go away from the initial message?
I would hope not. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing, we were talking about trends and waves and giving things real estate in your mind, because like, bro, like the universe or God or whoever you believe that is this, you know, supreme power gives people ideas, right? For a reason, right? So the Aware brand is about awareness. You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of different types of awareness of yes, but also like just being aware of yourself. That is like that's the core of it. You know what I mean? Your spiritual awareness, your mental awareness, your emotional awareness, your cultural awareness. You know what I mean? Like that's like if we got too big, would we not talk about, you know, being black and aware? You know what I mean? Hell no. You know what I mean? Like if we got too big, would we not talk about being spiritually aware? Like now we can't. You know what I mean? Because the more people that we have access to, that just means that more people need that original thing. That's how I look at it. Yeah.
And then, you know, with the clothing, you stay consistent with the clothes. It fuels all the other things anyway.
Facts.
Especially when the message is pure with the clothes. Because a lot of times people will talk about like rappers not needing to make music anymore because they have so many other business ventures going on and they're successful in so many other things. But you got to keep doing what the people loved you for originally to fuel all the other things.
I agree, bro.
Yeah.
I agree. Especially like with that particular example that you're saying with music, like you could do a million other things, but nothing is going to hit like that music, yo. Like, you know what I mean? Like the way that feeds people's spirits, man. Like, yeah, man, don't forget what got you to where you at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How important was it to speak at Foot Locker's All City event?
Man, so I didn't.
Sorry, not speak. How important was it to speak to Don C at Foot Locker's All City event? Because you know, back to the us talking about streetwear.
Listen,
and streetwear and not streetwear, but the blog era.
Yes, yeah. Yo, son, it was crazy. Like somebody actually brought that up. Like they had a Q&A section.
Yeah,
you know, I mean a portion rather, and somebody was like, "Yo, bro, like you don't know what you did for us." Like in Paris, right? When they took that picture and it was all in Paris, you know, and like that we talking about the blog era and like that one picture, bro.
And you posted it on your blog
too. On a blog, like that one pic of like, you know, Don, Taz, Ye, you know, Farnsworth, Virgil, you know what I mean? God bless the dead. It was like, we were just like, yeah, son, we out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So meeting him in real life, and getting to chop it up with him a little bit, man, like it was amazing, man. We were talking about, we spoke briefly and I was telling him like of my like apprehension and leaving my 9 to 5 and, you know, really going in with the brand. And he was just saying like, yeah, it is a big risk, you know, and there are fears involved, right? But if you really feel like you can do it, you got to do it. You know what I mean? He was like, and there's ways to do the business thing too. Like he's smart because he uses other companies to scale his business, right? Like when you look at Mitchell & Ness, you look at what he's doing with the Chicago Bulls. You know what I mean?
Collabs,
like, bro, mad collabs, like that put him in spaces that he might not have been able to get by himself, right? So, but still keeping your originality. So like that stuck with me, you know what I mean? Because we were at a Foot Locker event, obviously, right? And we're a partner with Foot Locker, so just like that's cool that we have this thing with Foot Locker, but like don't forget like about like the direct to consumer part too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, and what you're using them for, right? Because they're useful for that, getting us where we might not be at.
Yeah, they're using their infrastructure, and their influence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The information that we get, like we get so much information from them in terms of like how to run a business.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like what to do and what not to do. You know what I mean? But yeah, meeting Don C was fire, bro. Like he feels kindred to me. You know, like it was weird. Like it was a weird feeling talking to him.
Yeah.
And him like looking at me looking at him, and I'm like, we from the same tribe, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like fire. It was fire.
Yeah. What were y'all speaking about? Because I saw there was a picture of you speaking to him.
Yeah.
And it looked like y'all was really having like a real moment right there.
Yeah, man. I don't remember what we were talking about in that moment. Everybody asked me like, yo, what were y'all talking about? I'm like, I don't know. I had a moment with him. So I was just, vomit of the mouth, bro. Like, telling him I appreciate him and all that stuff. And also like what we can do in the future too. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm learning. Like you never know. Just shoot your shot. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like, so hopefully we're gonna be doing some things in the future. You know, put it out there in the universe.
Have you spoken to him since then?
We have, yeah. Just like, you know, piggybacking on the convo. You know what I mean? Great guy, man. Like, I say kindred because he has a good spirit, good energy, but you can also tell it that he's good with boundaries too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's something that I'm learning on my self-awareness journey. You know what I mean? Like you could be cool, you know, you could be a bright light, a gentle giant, if you will. You know what I mean? But like be good with boundaries. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Learn when to say no and stuff like that.
Yeah, when to say no, when to say like, I'm not sure. You know, like that's okay. You know what I mean? I learned that I'm a bear. You know, like I'm like I look nice and cool. And, you know what I mean? But I got like teeth too, right? So like being comfortable being like, no. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Has that hindered you in the past? Just you maybe not being able when to say no or not knowing your boundaries in the past, just with the fashion and even outside of the fashion?
Yeah. I would say overexerting myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like spreading myself too thin. With me working in mental health, it comes up a lot quicker because I'll be like drained. You know what I mean? Like when people are telling me things and I'm investing myself too much into what they're going through, right? Like learning how to be there for somebody but not take on all of their stuff is a nice little dance that you got to learn. You know what I mean? Like that's really where I've learned it. And then, you know, also just being a father and a husband and business owner and friend and son, you know what I'm saying? Like you want to be there for everybody. It's like you gotta be there for yourself first, because if you're not there for yourself, you know, you pouring from an empty cup and nobody's getting anything. You know what I'm saying? So that's been a large area of my growth, just like making sure I pour into me. You know? Which one of the things is like staying creative, you know, staying like, you know, writing, even if it's just me journaling, just getting that writing out. You know what I mean?
Does writing help with the design process of the clothes?
That's a good question. Usually, let me see. That's a good question, bro. So we'll come up with like overarching concepts of like what we want a collection to be. Yeah. Like what are we gonna talk about, right? What do we want this thing to look like? And then we'll kind of like do the writing and everything later. But it'll be like we have something coming out. Our next collection is So Spiritual. So Spiritual is about, you know, letting people know that they can be fly and they can be cool, but still acknowledge their spirituality. You know what I mean? Like don't leave that in the closet or whatever, you know? So we wanted people to get that feeling, you know what I mean, of like being spiritual but still being cool. So all of the writing that comes from that, it's from that like that overarching idea. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, the writing usually comes after though. It's like we start with like a feeling, like what is the thing that we want people to feel, you know, and then we'll do the designs, we'll do the colors. Yeah. You know what I mean? Write the blogs, you know what I mean? If I don't have anything that's already like similar, you know what I mean? But yeah, it starts with feeling. Yeah. And I think because you're a writer too, like I think the feeling, like you feel a way. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then you write about it. You know, so we'll feel like a thing, and then okay, how do we like, what are the different pieces of a collection based on that feeling? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Do you use any other designers other than yourselves?
Yeah. Like I'm not like, me and Drew will like sketch things out, you know what I mean? And like we'll do like mood boards, and then we'll send it to our third guy. His name is Omar Dismuke. He has like a degree in architecture, I think, something like that. Yeah. So he's like, it's been us three. Like it was me and Drew who like we founded it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then Drew and Omar have worked on several things together. But when Omar came in, it's like, okay, now we have somebody who like can actually like do what we see in our mind. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like it's been amazing. And then he found another guy named Darian, and another our queen, our sister Janae. She does like a lot of like the infographics that we do. But yeah, so it's, you know, Omar, he has a design team. Yeah, so we'll me, him, and Drew will talk about colors and designs and pieces that we want, and you know, all of those things, and he'll be like, all right, cool. Yeah, and then he'll like get it fleshed out.
Did you find Omar like right away after? Not right away, but was he the first designer or architect that you found? Yeah.
Luckily for us, him and Drew have been working together like since they were in college.
Oh, okay.
He used to produce music.
Yeah.
So he used to make music. He used to make
all
beats.
Around artist.
He's a bro. He'll make beats for artists that Drew was managing. You know what I mean? So he saw Drew had a t-shirt on, I think, and a wear t-shirt on. And he was like, yo, what is that? And he was like, yeah, it's me and Richard's this me and Richard's joint. And he was like, nah, that's fire, yo. Like, he was like, I would love to be a part of it in some kind of way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he kind of came in like that. I didn't know him at all. You know what I mean? So like we started, we had like a group chat, and we started like building with each other, just like creating like a brotherhood. Yeah. Getting like syncing our energies together. You know what I mean? And like sharing art, sharing music, you know, talking about spirituality and all types of things, just so that we can get like our vibe right. Yeah. You know what I mean? So now like when it comes to the creative process, it's so seamless. Yeah. It's crazy. Like we'll see the same thing. Like he'll say something, or I'll say something, or Drew will say something. I'm like, yo, that's exactly what I saw in my head. It's crazy. Like so like I think, not that I think, I know, like, you know, God put that together for sure. Yeah.
You guys are just synced in, really.
Bro, it's crazy, man. Like, so we talk about like being like a triangle, you know what I mean, or pyramid, or you know, and how everybody represents, you know, different things. You know, like I'm the healer, I'm the heart. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's what I'm always thinking about. Like how are people going to receive this? You know what I mean? Like I want people to feel it like in their whole body. You know what I mean? And like, you know, Omar's like the head. I call him the scientist. You know, because he's like, he wants to make sure that the scales are right and the font and you know what I mean? Like he gets real in his engineer bag with that.
Technical.
Super technical, bro. Yeah. And Drew is like he's the emoter. You know, he makes sure that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. You know, he makes sure that the energy is right. He makes sure that the overarching theme, you know, aligns with, you know, the brand identity and all that stuff. So it's
your Steve Jobs.
Yeah, bro. Like, yeah. Visionary, bro. Like we're all visionaries, you know what I mean? But like I look at him like, cause the idea for the brand came to him. You know what I mean? So I honor that channel. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, he's an all around visionary.
Yeah. What are the steps to starting a streetwear brand? Like if you could give a step by step. One thing that Virgil Abloh, rest in peace, that he left to the world was a website where he showed people like step by step how to start a brand.
Fire.
So what is your step by step, if that's something that you want to disclose to the people?
Yeah. I love that. As you were asking me that, I was thinking about Kirby Jean, right? I saw him speak at
from Pyre Moss.
Yeah, brilliant dude. It was a Culture Con, the last Culture Con they had in real life. It was in Brooklyn, in Brooklyn. I think 2019, and he was saying like it has to be something like before you even do your LLC and all that, you got to see if you have like a viable, something that is actually like real to people. You know what I mean? So whether that's like an idea that you want to build around, a concept, a design. For us, it was the idea of self-awareness and self-love. And then, you know, we're just like, all right. So we looked at brands that have endured the test of time, right? Nike, Puma, Adidas. And it's like, okay, they just have like a simple font that's easily recognizable. You know what I mean? So we started with that. We started with that script. We had aware written in a few different types of fonts, but we decided to go with the script. Yes, it's super classic. You know what I mean? It looks good on a hat, t-shirt, socks, jacket, whatever. You know what I mean? So I think that's a crucial part, like something that looks good on different pieces. You know, color palettes. I would say start simple. You know, because like I think a lot of times with like Black brands, because we so like creative, it'd be looking crazy. You know what I mean? It'd be like too much going on. Like
minimalism is
bro,
important.
that's gonna carry you as you figure out what you want to do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, because you could always get freaky with designs, but like let the minimalism, the classical stuff be like the foundation. You know what I mean? That you could build on. So I would say that, man, like what the idea is, what the concept is, simple design, study, you know, brands that you look up to.
Yeah.
You know, that's what like people ask us like, yo, how do y'all do your like how'd you guys get to like the designs and all that stuff? I'm like, yo, we study. Like people don't like to nerd out. You gotta nerd out though.
Yeah, you gotta be a nerd, definitely.
You gotta nerd out, bro.
Especially in the world of creativity, you gotta be a nerd.
You have to, like we're talking about Brooklyn Circus. Bro, studied Brooklyn Circus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yo, why do I like this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's the question. What about what is it? Is it the colors? What colors are they putting together? Okay, like what are the color palettes? Okay, what are the cuts? What are we talking about the silhouettes of like the jackets stopping right under the torso? You know what I mean? Like you gotta pay attention to that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Because your average consumer might not, but they'll know, but when they put it on, they're gonna love it. It's okay if they don't know why they love it.
Yeah.
But you have to know why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
that's a psychological part of it, and the awareness. Knock on wood.
Yeah. 100%. And like that's what we tell people, like, yo, study the brands that you like. You know, do we had to do what you call it, man? Case studies. We each did case studies on different companies, you know, and then we like reported back to each other, and we were like what they did that we like, that we can implement on our brand, you know, what they did that we don't like, you know. Yeah, so we looked at, you know, brands like Fubu, obviously, because, you know, they were just a unicorn, you know what I mean, at that time.
Or us bias.
Yeah, like Nike, Puma, of course, Adidas. And then also with those brands like Nike and Adidas, Microsoft, their commercials, you know, like they're trying to get you to feel something.
Branding, yeah, for
branding
sure.
is crazy.
And the storytelling, the narratives.
100%, yes.
How important is the narrative?
Bro, I think, is it as important as the design? It's damn sure, it's damn near neck and neck to me. You know what I mean? Because like you can have, well, for me, because it's one thing to wear something and it look nice, but it's another thing for it to like actually mean something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like to actually connect with you on that level, man. I think about, you know, a Nike commercial or Microsoft, and then it's like they don't show you the phone till the end. You know what I mean? They took you on this whole journey, you know, through space and time, and then they show you the phone at the end. And it's just like, yeah, so you attribute all of that you're feeling now, and you localize it on that phone. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Like I love the storytelling, you know, like we tell one story, it's self-awareness and self-love, right? But there's so many different ways to tell it. You know, there's so many different moving parts. You know, there's so many exits that you can get off on that journey. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna tell that story forever. That journey of finding yourself.
Yeah.
You know, becoming yourself. Yeah. Storytelling is super important.
How does that theme of finding yourself evolve over time?
Yeah. I think
especially with evolving trends in fashion.
Yeah. So I think about messaging, into like putting messages on clothes, right? Even like I got some Pierre Moss kicks, and like, you know, fire silhouette and everything. But when you open it up, it has like this whole like thing written in there about like us making the world a better place for the people coming behind us, you know? And it's like like you can always be super intentional with what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like even though the trends may come and go, but if you have a message that's very important, you got to find a way to make it work. You know, like graphic tees are really popular still now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like so that's easy. We could put like different quotes on a t-shirt or a hoodie or some pants or something, you know, or like the inside of a jacket or something, you know, like that's easy, but never losing that storytelling part.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, like no matter what the clothes look like, just tell the same story.
With messages and storytelling and clothing, how do you make sure that the messages that you promote in the clothing don't just stop at clothing? Like, how do you make sure that those messages actually are put to use outside of clothing and into real life and affecting and benefiting people's real lives?
Yeah, love that. So with every collection, you know, there's like, so every collection has to be supported by blogs, you know, and email lists and text messaging, and videos, you know, whether it be like me doing a reel or us creating some type of content, like a commercial kind of thing, you know what I mean, where we're telling the story of the collection again. Also, we have like our Convo series. So a great example of that is we did a Heal Thyself collection, right? So the Heal Thyself collection, it had like vibrant colors, right? Like psychedelic and stuff. Yeah. Like that's cool, you know, but we also had multiple conversations for our wear combos with people like Dawood. He's here in Brooklyn. He's a Reiki master. You know what I mean? Supernova Slam, all around wellness warrior, you know, Queen of Fua's son. We had another convo with what's her name? The Muscle Whisperer. I'm forgetting her first name, but she uses like different tools to work out people's like muscles.
Yeah.
And then while they're in the session of her working out their muscles, all of this trauma comes up. You know what I mean? Because trauma is stored in the body. You know what I mean? So like giving the clothes, yes, but also that educational piece of like talking about healing, talking about trauma stored in the body, or trauma like with memories and alternative ways of healing. So we're very intentional on like wherever we're talking about, we want to double down on the information and give it to you in different kind of ways, because everybody's different. You know what I mean? Some people are not going to read a blog, but they'll watch an interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So making sure all those touch points are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the importance, just going back to you having the blog, what is the importance of being interactive with your supporters through the blog and the podcast? You guys have a podcast as well. Instead of just being transactional, like here's this shirt, here's this hoodie, here's this hat, go on the website and buy it.
Yeah, like there's nothing like that back and forth exchange of energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the transaction is one part of it, you know what I mean? But I think one of the reasons why we have such a high returning customer rate is because we give you so much too. You know what I mean? Like, and it means like, one, we're creatives, we're all creators, and like we can make a t-shirt and give it to you, but we still have like that creative itch that needs to be scratched. You know what I mean? So like we'll have a combo, we'll give you the blogs. And like for me, like when people read the blogs, I'm like people come to me like, yo, the blogs are fire. Like, who writes that? And I'm like, me. I write the blogs. You know what I'm saying? Like I write majority of the blogs, you know what I'm saying? Like, because people don't really read.
I didn't even know y'all was smart.
Yep. Bro, like, oh, y'all really about, that's what they say. Y'all really about this awareness. Yes, we are. Like, it's just we use the fashion, like that's like the thing to get you. Yeah, bro. Like that's the thing that's gonna attract people. And then once we have you in the tribe, we're gonna give you so much added value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. But that exchange, bro, that engagement, man, like we love it, man. Whether it's social media, whether it's people like, hitting our phones, whether it's we do pop-ups, you know what I mean? Like we do pop-ups in different cities, and like just to talk to the people. That's another time like where they get to be like, oh man, y'all are a vibe, like, because we get to like talk in real time about things. You know what I mean? Like we get to talk about the pieces, and You know, whether we have like the synchronicity numbers and stuff. You know what I mean? Like, people get to see like there's different layers. It's fly, but there's different layers to it. You know what I mean?
Speaking about having pop-ups, what is the significance of having these different aware pop-ups in different cities, along with the corresponding merch?
Yeah. So like, you know, we want the tribe to be worldwide. You know what I mean? Ultimately, but like in growing our movement and growing our tribe, we know that it's essential to hit different markets. Also to see like it's an information thing too, right? Like what works, because we're both from New York. So like, but Omar's from Detroit. So like New York and Detroit are similar, but they're different at the same time. Yeah. You know what I mean? So when we do a pop-up, we get to see in real time like what people gravitate towards and what they don't like. You know what I mean? So it's an amazing thing, and also to just see the Black experience in all these different cities as well. Like we're all Black, but it's like the Blackness manifests slightly different.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, in these different cities. So it's just an all around great time, man. Like, and just to see that so many people are on their own awareness journey. You know what I mean, and they resonate with the brand. Mm-hmm. You know, and they feel like we're speaking directly to them. You know, it's amazing for somebody to say that like in a comment on Instagram, but when you're at a pop-up shop and like you looking people in the eye and they're telling you that, it's like, it lets you know that you're on the right track. You're doing something right, you know? Yeah.
You know, you connect with people at these pop-ups. You were at this all-city event, the Don C all-city event, where you connected with, I'm sure, other brands there.
Sure.
You said you smoked them at the pop-up. No disrespect.
Yeah, no disrespect. We ran it up on y'all though.
How important is it to build a community with these other brands, these other designers?
Yeah, it's so important, man.
Or like, network at least.
Yeah,
you know?
Nah, for sure, bro. Like, there's so many hurdles that would like discourage you when it comes to building your own thing. You know, like we're very grateful for the other brand owners that we know who like, because we share resources. You know what I mean? We share our pitfalls. We share things that we could have done better. We big each other up on like a design or something like that we like. You know what I mean? So it's just we all grow together. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Of course we're in competition because you know it's a competitive sport. Yeah. But at the same time, there is space for collaboration. You know what I mean? There's a lot of space for collaboration, I should say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when it comes to sharing resources. Like if I give you my sock plug, that doesn't hurt me in any way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like if I give you, I don't know if I'll give you the hoodie plug, you know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying? But if you need somebody like for shorts or, you know what I mean? Like we share that information, you know, you know, a graphic designer, photographer, videographer. Yeah, like we shoot with so-and-so. If you we'll give you his contact, you know, holla at him. You know what I mean? Because we're all trying to make dope stuff at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So it's very important, man. Like networking and, you know, meeting people, and we definitely have a lot of brand owners that we talk to. You know what I mean? You might need somebody to print your shirts. Yeah. You know what I mean? You in a certain city, like, yo, so and so prints my tees, yo, like holla at him. You know what I mean? Like it's so many ways that if you allow space for that, there's so many ways that people can show up for you.
You said it's a competitive sport. Is competition good or bad for mental health?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a great question, bro. I would say competition is very good for your mental health as long as you don't it's about self-talk, right? Yeah. Like how do you talk yourself through a loss? You know what I mean? How do you talk yourself through a win? You know what I mean? Like, because when you look at in nature, you look at nature and you see like any animal, but we could say like a lion, right? A lioness. They have the little cub, and like the lioness is like pushing the cub, pushing them, throwing them around. You know what I mean? Like, but that helps the cub to get the senses that it needs, right, to survive and to hunt in the wild. And that's what competition does for you if you allow it to, if you structure it properly in your mind. You know what I mean? Because a lot of us have negative self-talk, right? So like you'll be losing and now you think, man, I ain't shit. No, that's not what that's supposed to be like. You know, it's supposed to be like, no, let me go back into the lab and sharpen my sword. You know what I mean? Like that's what competition is supposed to do for you. It's supposed to make you want to be the best. And competition is amazing for the consumer. You know what I mean? Because if we're all battling to be better than one another, the consumer's gonna get the best product.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would say competition is good for your mental health if you let it be. You know what I mean? And I think we're in such a weird time in terms of like, cause like we're like kind of the first generation where they wanted to give like participation trophies to, you know what I mean? And like, oh yeah, you get a trophy because you participated. Like, nah, bro, you don't get a trophy because you participated. Like that's not enough. Like you need to get first, second, or third. And if you get third, you should be wondering why you didn't get second. Yeah. If you didn't get second, you should wonder why you didn't get first. You know what I mean? Like but don't self-deprecate though. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it gets like negative and you know that part. But like competition is good, man. Like you need competition, man. Like you need it. Even like in your team. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like you need competition. Like, oh man, this guy, he's going hard, man. I can go harder. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's what it's for. Like how you gonna know who's the best? How you gonna be your best? Yeah. If there's no competition. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yeah, you need that, man. That's why they call our generation soft, man. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to give us they started with them participation trophies, man, and had people thinking the competition is bad and it should be all collaboration. And I agree with collaboration, but I agree with competition as well. Yeah.
You guys haven't collabed with anybody yet, right?
Have we? We did not like a full out brand. Nah, we for our Heal Thyself collection, we had these tie-dye shirts. Yeah, tie-dye shirt, right?
Yeah, I do got a tie-dye shirt.
That was a collab with a brand called Soul Dye. So those were like the Solar Wear t-shirts. You know what I mean? So he shout to Nick, man. He actually hand tie-dyed all those. Each and every shirt.
So everyone is different.
Everyone is different. Yeah. So like, you know, that was a very special little added value thing, man. Yeah. Like every shirt is legit and different. Like, you know what I mean?
Bespoke almost.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Yeah. So we have a lot of brands that we do want to collab with, that we're gonna start doing that more. But we think it was important for us to like kind of carve out our voice. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like who we are as a brand, before we start collabing, going crazy. But we want to go crazy with the collabs though, because there's a lot of brands that we rock with.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would you like to collab with?
Man, there's a brand. He's in the Bronx. We met him through the Foot Locker thing. His brand is Perico Limited. Similar type of aesthetic to ours, you know. So we know it would be a easy meshing, you know, if you will. There's another brand in Detroit called Wealthy. I think we're gonna do something with them this year. Just brands that like conceptually we align, yeah, and then we can figure out all the other stuff as well. You know what I mean? But like, that's what we look for, like brands that we're on the same wavelength. You know what I mean?
What's next for you in the wear brand?
Man, we're being able to work in a wear brand full time will be fire. You know what I mean? Like getting paid, you know what I mean, from a wear brand would be great, man. We haven't seen that part yet. You know what I mean? Like we're growing, you know what I mean? But we haven't reached a point where everybody can get paid. You know what I mean? And a lot of times, like when you're a founder or owner, sometimes you're the last one to get paid. You know what I mean? Like you want to make sure everybody else is like taken care of, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have much left for yourself. But I'm really excited personally for me to get more into my voice and my storytelling, you know what I mean? And helping us to get more focused with our brand identity through the storytelling, you know what I mean? Because that's like, I'm the heart, you know what I mean? So like that connectivity is like everything to me, you know what I mean? Like more blogs, obviously, you know what I mean? More convos, you know, because like the convos and the blogs can have a life of its own, you know what I mean? Like it could live on different platforms, you know what I mean? yeah, man, just being more myself. You know, I think working in mental health kind of like made me, it did a lot of good things for me, but one thing that it was a detriment to me was in terms of like my style. Cause like before I got into mental health, cause it's like I work in a hospital. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's super like professional and collar shirts and you know what I mean? So like before that I was in retail. So I was immersed in clothes all day.
And the consumers.
Yeah, and the consumers as well.
Seeing stuff that they wear.
Facts, bro. So working in mental health kind of, I had to kind of work double time and making sure like going to stores or looking online, you know, seeing what's going on. But I'm excited to be like in the brand full time or, you know, or just doing what I love to do, being my complete self, you know what I mean? And letting that come out through the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do words matter to you?
Man, words matter because words open up doors. Words open up doors to places that we didn't know existed within ourselves. You know what I mean? Like I'm just thinking about reading different books, you know, and the way that somebody just puts some words together can just unlock something inside of me. You know what I mean? And to think that I'm potentially doing that for somebody else or that you're potentially doing that for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's amazing to me. You know, words matter because that's been the way that we tell stories, you know, for millions of years, you know, like it's been the words that we tell each other.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we've translated math, science, psychology, you know, I mean, the story of the universe, the story of who we are, like words mean a lot, you know, and at the same time, words are like an entry point into like the limitless world of feeling. You know what I mean? And to think that we're opening up doors for people to feel things that they never felt before, think things that they never thought before. Like that's amazing, and that's only because of the power of words. You know? Yeah. I love words. You know what I'm saying?
I loved words too, man. Words matter.
They do, bro.
And I think that's a perfect place to end this. Thank you, Rich, for coming.
Appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
So, words
great
matter.
Questions, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot. And great answers as well. And yeah, words matter. Pod. My name is Akil. I never say my name. I think people that are gonna watch the first few episodes, they'd be like, "What is his name?" But yeah, man, my name is Akil. To my left, everybody who's watching, got my man Rich with me.
Yes, sir.
Of the Aware brand, and wish Drew could have came, but he lives in Detroit, right?
Detroit, yeah. Next time though, man, we gonna figure it out.
Yeah,
so we can all chop it up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Beautiful conversation, bro. I appreciate you for having me, man.
Yeah, thank you, of course. Words matter, man. Thank you.